In the last video, we saw Sejun planting the tops of the carrots that had been eaten by his rabbit friends after soaking them in water till they sprouted roots and leaves. He planned to use this method to collect carrot seeds to expand his farm, and as he is talking with his rabbit friends about it, he gets a message from the tower manager reminding him about the dried sweet potatoes that are ready now, and everyone is overwhelmed by tasting them. The manager demands its share, and Sejun thinks that giving the offerings in an onion leaf bowl is too crude, so he packages the sweet potatoes like a gift using the skills he picked up while working in convenience stores, and the manager is overwhelmed thinking that it was too cute. Then he is approached by the queen bee, who gives him pollen bundles, and Sejun realizes that his corn plants have almost fully matured and the cobs have started to form. He decides to try the pollen bundles that were said to be of high nutritive value and finds that their taste is good. Since he likes it, the poison honeybee queen calls her children to give him more of them, and then Theo returns after his sales trip and has some bittersweet interactions with the queen bee. After that, Sejun talks with Theo about sending the money to his family, and he gets lost in their memories. Theo tells him about how he still has over 200 tower coins even after spending a lot of them, and he is stunned. The cat merchant shows him the items he bought from the market, including vessels and a strange dagger, which he bought for cheap in a lottery event. Its information window was mostly hidden and covered with question marks, and the tower manager advised Sejun that using such non-appraised items could be dangerous, so it volunteers to appraise it in return for some more dried sweet potatoes. Sejun learns that it was called Keen's training short dagger, a weapon of rank B that could go up to billions of dollars in the outside world. He is amazed at Theo's luck, who was more than a pushover and sometimes found out very good opportunities. But there is one more creature on the 99th floor, along with Sejun and his friends, and it looks nothing like the monster everyone thinks it is. As Theo and the glutton rabbit are enjoying churros, Sejun inspects his farms, and then suddenly, he takes a fighting stance and uses the newly acquired dagger to slash the onion plants in front of him. The dagger is quite sharp, and he asks his friends what they think about his skills, and they clap for him. Theo asks him if he liked that short dagger, and he smiles, saying that he was very impressed that the cat brought it. Theo gets angry and demands to be called by his title as the sales cat that Sejun had promised to give him in return for completing the missions. Sejun pats him, saying that he was sales cat Theo, and he did an amazing job. The cat merchant accepts his apology and quite arrogantly tells him that he will let it slide this time as he pushes Sejun's hands away. But he notices that, despite seeming like a naive pushover, Theo actually had golden paws. Speaking of paws, Sejun starts playing with the cat's toe beans, and he suddenly finds him cute. Theo asks him what he was doing, and he replies that his paws look really amazing, before holding him in his lap and asking him if he would like one more pack of churros. Theo is overjoyed, and his internal celebration is quite aggressive, as he thinks that at the end of the day, even Sejun was a human, and no human could resist the superiority of his paws. He laughs, telling Sejun that he was a busy cat and that he should hurry with the treat. He does not like that attitude and thinks that something is fishy, so he silently picks the cat up and places him on the ground. Sejun tells Theo that his 1 hour as the sales cat was over, and the black rabbit tries to control his laughter. Theo panics and tells him that it was too fast, and he wants to stay as the sales cat for a little longer. Even as he requests, Sejun refuses, saying that his decision is firm. Theo cannot stay away from the position of the sales cat any longer, and he decides to reveal the trump card he had been hiding and asks him to look at the other things he had. He empties his bag, and as the modern food items come out of it, Sejun is trembling with excitement. He crawls down to check all the seasonings while Theo brags about getting them as a reward for clicking pictures. Sejun pours a bit of salt into his hand, and as he tastes it, he is overwhelmed by the salty taste after months. He smells and tastes other seasonings too, and the pungency of the peppers, the taste of spices, and the richness of other seasonings were the only things he was missing in his food. As he exclaims about it, the rabbits are also curious to check things out, and then Theo asks him if he thinks that he deserves to be a sales cat now. He wants to be a sales cat for 2 hours in return for this, and the overjoyed Sejun lifts him up and swings him around as he says that he could be the sales cat with these items for 24 hours if he wanted. As Sejun dances around in joy, the glutton rabbit has already started trying out salt on his carrots. Thanks to the new utensils and seasonings, Sejun cooks great food that day, and its aroma flies out of the cave. He has grilled fish, and after seasoning it with salt and pepper, he puts it on a skewer along with onion stems. As he is humming and preparing food, the smell reaches the home of the rabbits, and it wakes them up from their sleep and calls them out to the lunch place. Sejun says good morning and asks them if they are hungry because he has prepared a special dish to show off his skills today. It is a banquet of dishes, including fish and onion skewers, roasted tomatoes, dried sweet potatoes, roasted fish, and roasted onions, along with salt and pepper. Sejun tells everyone to choose the dish according to their taste and add salt and pepper if they want more. Most of the white rabbits find the pepper too spicy, but the black warrior rabbit likes the taste. Sale's cat Theo is still sleeping, and Sejun wakes him up for breakfast and asks him what he wants his roasted fish to be seasoned with. But Theo gets angry and replies that no one should play a joke on food by adding anything to it. He sits on Sejun's lap and enjoys his plain roasted fish, and he tells the cat that he does not know the greatness of salt and pepper. After a hearty breakfast, Sejun and the rabbits get back to their work for today, which is harvesting tomatoes, and he uses his named dagger to cut the tomato bunches. He not only gets the regular XP and skill proficiency, but the proficiency increased skill he gets with the dagger makes his progress 5% faster. Sejun likes it that the proficiency increased skill of the Keen's dagger is not limited only to battle but any task done with it. He says that a B-rank named item was expected to be this wonderful, and he wants to work hard using it to quickly increase his proficiency. Sejun takes the bunch of cherry tomatoes he just harvested and gives them to Theo, whose job it is to pluck them one by one and store them in his bag. He does not like the job and complains that why does he have to do such menial labor when he was the sales cat. Sejun replies that there was no shame in working with their hands. He was the chairman here and was still working on the farm. Theo is stunned to learn that Sejun was the chairman, and he asks him if a chairman was a higher position than the sales cat. Sejun replies that it was very high, and he commands Theo to keep working hard. The cat immediately loses his arrogance and says that he learned something good today and will not stop working hard. He gets ready to leave, but laughs mischievously, thinking that one day he will climb up to the position of chairman, and then he will monopolize the right to sit in Sejun's lap. His magic bundle is full, and he starts preparing to leave, and Sejun asks him to stop by the store again and buy more things he has told him to. And on top of that, he asks Theo to go to the blacksmith's lottery again and buy anything he likes there because he does not want to let the cat's amazing talent go to waste. Theo affirms, and he says that he will soon be back before leaving. With the sales cat gone, Sejun can now focus on harvesting the rest of the cherry tomatoes in the row, and he gets 90 XP for harvesting 6 tomatoes at once, which was 50% more than the usual amount. He wonders what the reason is behind it, and the truth is revealed as he reads the information window about the cherry tomatoes he just harvested. The reason their XP was high was that their rank was D, and their properties had also increased. Each D-rank tomato could break down 20 grams of fat upon consumption and also increase mana by 0.2 for 10 minutes. And the shelf life had also become 60 days. Sejun is amazed to find that as the crop went from E rank to D rank, all the attributes almost doubled. On top of that, it was mentioned to be even tastier than the previous cherry tomatoes, and Sejun wonders if there were more tomatoes like this. He had recently leveled up quite a bit, and he was a D rank tower farmer now, and he suspects that all the crops he cultivated after that grew up to D rank. He thinks that if Theo had waited a little longer, he could introduce the D-rank tomatoes to the market, and they would fetch an even higher price. But there is no use in worrying about it now, and Sejun thinks that they should try out how much the taste improved as the rank of the tomatoes increased by 1. He suggests to his rabbit friends that they should eat the new tomatoes and then take a nap together, and no one has any complaints. And as Theo makes his way down to the 38th floor, he feels disappointed somehow. Meanwhile, in the tower manager's office, there is a room full of all kinds of treasures, and the greatest attraction is the shining sculpture of a dragon. It was an ice statue of the tower manager, whose name is Aileen Furtani, and it was made by another dragon called Kaiser Furtani, using an ice fragment of the Blue Penguin Kingdom. But the manager has no need for the beautiful ice sculpture now and breaks it down mercilessly, and then places the gift-packed sweet potatoes in their place. The warehouse where all the treasures were kept had a permanent preservation magic spell, and the manager plans to keep the cute-looking packaging here instead of eating it. And the way the manager acts is like a high school girl experiencing her first crush, saying that her human gave it to her. Then the manager goes back to check on Sejun with the crystal ball and finds him sleeping peacefully with his rabbit friends, unaware of the dangers surrounding him. She wants to go and check out the area surrounding the cave to ensure his safety, but then spots something that Sejun needs to be alerted immediately about. He wakes up after getting wake-up calls from the manager, who tells him that this is not the time to be sleeping around. As Sejun looks around, he finds a monster at the entrance to the cave, and he screams as the black warrior rabbit climbs upon his shoulder to see what is happening. The red bear is at the entrance of the cave, and the tower manager tells it to go away, but it is startled and slips into the cave as its footing comes loose. Sejun panics and runs towards it, successfully catching the red bear that was no larger than a teddy, and he is not even sure what kind of creature he is dealing with yet. But then he reads the information window that comes along with the monster and learns that it was the baby crimson giant bear, and the innocent-looking bear is just staring at the face of the human. With this, the video ends. The cute little bear took his time entering the story, and we can hope for some wholesome interactions between him and Sejun and his companions. But apart from that, it seems Sejun is on good track with a new weapon and better quality harvests, along with the tower manager seemingly crushing over him. Let us find out what happens in the next chapter soon. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and tell us in the comments. Also, subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.